The other what about the plan for the BRICS? Do you have any plan to, if you are elected, to be part of the BRICS? Thank you.
Future. This is continent's future. You have large number of young generation.
We have time for just one more question. I'm getting live from this group. Anyone? Yes. One and two short questions. You first, and then the gentleman back. Oh, microphone.
Thank you very much. My name is Yasser Ali, Ambassador of Sudan. I'd like to thank you for the elaborative and very interesting presentation. And you mentioned about the spirit of Bandung. So I'd like to know your policy towards Africa. This is giving a very good gesture to us as African, and from a perspective of achieving the food security for Indonesia, for example. As you know, Indonesia is aspiring to achieve food security, and there is a huge opportunities to cooperate with some African countries which has a lot of resources to cooperate with you to achieve that. And also, African aspiring to have sort of cooperation, especially in the technical and capacity building. We have noticed that many Asian countries, like from the ASEAN, are having very active role with Africa, and I think Indonesia, to some extent, needs to exert more effort. I noticed this during my period as an ambassador in Tanzania. I saw many ASEAN countries are very active with Africa, but Indonesia, I think, needs to be more active in that regard. The other what about the plan for the BRICS? Do you have any plan to, if you are elected, to be part of the BRICS? Thank you.
We'll take the other question of the gentleman back before I answer the question. Did you raise your hand, please? Microphone on. Thank you.
My name is Kanasugi Kim, Ambassador of Japan. This is not so much to do with diplomatic strategy, but people say that democracy in the world is declining. And during your presentation, you seem to suggest that democracy in Indonesia is on the downside. And if so, how are you going to redress the situation? How are you going to rectify domestic politics in this country? Thank you.
First of all, Dubes Sudan, His Excellency, Africa is the future. This is continent's future. You have large number of young generation, definitely, and if you look at not only the demography but also on potential development cooperation, it's tremendous. And it's true that we have not paid enough attention to Africa. We have not paid enough attention. I think we need to improve our awareness toward the fruits of cooperation between Indonesia and African countries. And we can start from countries that is more relevant to our need and that is relevant to what we can contribute to yours. And perhaps Sudan is one of the closest of all in terms of all African countries. So the approach will be rather similar. That's why I mentioned when Pak Dubes Italy raised earlier about what are you going to do with the relationship with EU. My response is a generic approach that needs to be done to other regions, including Africa. We need to sit down, do assessment, and on top of that, I think it's time for us to be more serious in bringing in Indonesian business leaders, Indonesian business community into a particular country and push and assist them to have investment, business activity in African countries. The opportunity, as you said, you are seeing businessmen coming in from all over Asia, but not Indonesia. And I suspect one of the reasons is we are ourselves in government is not out there being proactive in offering support and help toward those who are interested on doing business in the region. So that's one. With BRIC, I don't think we're interested on joining BRIC. That will be BRIC one. Now, with regard to Pak Dubes Japan on quality of democracy can translate into various different indicators, Pak. Even the definition of democracy, there is no less than 500 definition of what is called democracy. So translation into that is numerous. But I think issue number one that needs to be brought back is to restore trust into institution of democracy. Restoring trust into the institutions, be it constitutional court, be it the parliament, be it all others, restoring institutions, that's one. And how do we do that? One is appointments and code of ethics that is seriously upheld. And it has to start with example. Top leadership needs to show commitment on upholding ethics. If top leadership compromise on ethics, then the rest will even go further. Number two, revising some of our law that has restricted freedom of expression. And we have seen some of our laws being used to suppress freedom of expression. And even today, the Undang-Undang ITE itu apa bahasa Inggrisnya, Pak? The cyber law, for example. The cyber law has been so flexible in indicting almost anyone if they have expressed some criticism, even criticism not to the government, even criticism to other entity of non-state. You can be charged and you can be prosecuted. And I think we need to revise some of that to ensure freedom of expression. And number three is, which is not less important, is combating corruption in a serious way and addressing the upstream, the core of why corruption is happening, especially on policy making. Political financing has not been reformed for the past 25